Hello, Wildcat fans. Mike Morano here. I'm joined with Coach Mike McDonald, head men's basketball coach here at Daemen College, and we're going to break down the East Coast Conference tournament for you here over the next couple of minutes. Going to be speaking with Coach McDonald, and we'll bring in some of the men's basketball players as well. Coach, first thing I got to ask you, this is the first East Coast Conference tournament appearance for Daemen. It's the first year that Daemen is eligible to compete in the East Coast Conference tournament. Just what does it mean for your program to be able to qualify and to compete for a conference championship?
It's one thing, Mike, we talked about at the beginning of the year, to have the chance to be the first men's basketball team to compete in the ECC tournament. We also talked about, as the fall events unfolded, we realized we could be the first Daemen team, period, to be able to compete. And we thought that was something special. It's always neat to be able to do something first. There's been a long history in this program of a lot of great teams and great players, great coaches. And to be able to do something first that's never been done here at Daemen was something special and something we kind of talked about early in the year.
We're going to dissect over the course of the next couple of minutes your team, specific players. We're going to talk about your opponents a little bit, your potential opponents coming up for the tournament. First thing I want to ask you is about your team specifically. Two things that I think are staples or have been staples for your team this year. Offensive production, you're leading the league in scoring, have been pretty much all year, 85 points a game. And then success on the road. Obviously the tournament will be played down in Washington, D.C. this weekend. You guys are 9-4 in games away from Lumsden Gymnasium this year. You just talk about those two things.
Well, I think the offensive production, you don't know year to year how your team, the identity of your team is going to develop. Ours has definitely developed at the offensive end, and we've been more comfortable. And, even though the coaches have screamed and shouted and banged their heads against the walls at times about our defensive intensity, our defensive effort, it's gotten better. And I think we've started to realize, and we've gotten better offensively the second half of the year as we've gotten better defensively. It doesn't really make sense, but we've been able to get some stops and do what we do really well, is run. And we're not a big team. We don't necessarily have a big low post presence, but we can run and we're pretty fast. So when we can get some stops, we can get out in transition, and you see our offensive production get even better. So we have guys who can score. We have guys who are very good offensively, and I think we've figured out ways to get them in positions to do what they do well. And we are unselfish. We pass the ball very well. When we do that, we're really hard to stop.
And how about talk about playing on the road and just being away from home?
On the road, we make a big deal about not making a big deal about it, if that makes any sense. We try to just understand that it's another game. We're going away from home. How you prepare on the road, and maybe you're in a hotel the night before or on a bus trip right before, all that stuff can't affect you. And just understanding how you prepare for the game is so important. Not worrying about the other crowd, the officials, all that stuff you can't control. Just control your preparation and getting yourself ready. And for a team that starts 3 freshmen, the maturity on the road has been really pleasing for the coaching staff.
We're going to get to the freshmen here in just a little bit. You enter the tournament, you're the number 2 seed, 18-9 overall record, 14-6 in the league during the regular season this year. I think maybe as a casual observer looking at it might wonder how you're even in this position. If you look at it, you graduated arguably the program's best player of all time in Gerald Beverly last year. Your top 2 players, Torrance Dyke and Arif Mametai, both coming back this year off of season-ending injuries last year. And then to compound matters, you lose Supreme Hannah right at the start of the year, your starting point guard, and your other starting guard, Nick Petroselli, goes out in the middle of January. So how have you been able to keep the ball rolling and be successful this season?
Great coaching. No, actually, honestly, what it is we've had guys who, the old adage, somebody's got to step up, and the guys have continued to step up. I go all the way back to December when Supreme Hannah went down and Jay Sarkis moved into the starting lineup. He moved in right before that, playing with Supreme, and then Supreme went down right before Edinboro, and Edinboro was a team really good, was coming off some big wins in the PSAC, and we didn't miss a beat. We scored, I think, close to 90 points in that game, or over 90 points maybe, and Jay just kind of got us going. There were a couple games early on where we thought, you know what, we missed Supreme's leadership and kind of getting everybody organized. But in time, the other guys accepted Jay as the leader and the point guard on the floor. And that's been, that's been one key. Darius Garvin's play when Nick Petroselli went down. And it was terrible when Nick went down because we were really playing at a high level. Nick himself was playing at the highest level he's ever played here at Damon. And it's just, terrible injury. We're looking forward to getting him back next year. But Darius Garvin kind of stepped in seamlessly and just did his job. We always talk about do your job, do what you're supposed to do, and the rest will take care of itself. And he did that. Deion Hamilton, he stepped in after Ryan Granditz was injured and in a game. And again, another guy seamlessly moved into the lineup, and we go on like a 9-game winning streak when Deion steps in. So each of those guys are very good players. That's the key, first of all. They're good players. They're really good teammates, which is also really important. And they've understood their role, and they've played to their skill set and to what they're good at. I think the biggest thing, though, is Torrence and Arif. Arif has been steady pretty much all year. He really has. He's playing out of position as an undersized center. He hasn't complained about that. He's embraced it, and it's just a tough matchup where now you see teams not even putting their centers on him. They're putting smaller guys on him to try and counteract his ability away from the hoop. And Torrence to me is the best player in the league by far. He is taking this team. His growth and his development as a player and as an individual is off the charts. And what he's done for this team this year is really put us on his back and lead us to where we are. So the reason we're in second place, obviously really good freshmen who fit their roles, really good guys coming off the bench who've helped us. Torrence and Arif doing their job, especially as kind of the mainstays of the team.
Certainly the freshmen, as you mentioned, played such a large role for you as the season has gone on. I think, you hit the nail on the head. I think it becomes easier for the three freshmen to have an impact when they're playing with guys like Torrence and Arif. And I wonder, we've talked so much throughout the season about Torrance's scoring. He's the leading scorer in the league. He's one of the top scorers in the region and in the country. But I think it's the other things, the other development in his game. You just talk about he leads your team in rebounding, he leads your team in assists. And as you mentioned, his leadership development as well. Just talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's a great thing. It's one of the reasons you go into coaching is to watch a young man develop the way he is developed. The assist part, he's always had a good penchant to pass, but I think at times he felt like he had to score more. He's really developed and become an all-around guy. We've been on him all year about rebounding, and he has embraced that and really tries to get double-doubles. And, the passing has come about because he is such a focal point of other teams, and rightly so. If you're going into a game against us and saying, hey, we got to stop number 4, we got to stop number 4, leave these freshmen alone. And his trust and his belief in the other guys on the team has made our team so much better. And I think that's real important. And just when you watch that development, it's what you hope for in everybody as they get to be a senior. They don't care about winning, they don't care about losing, or they don't care about scoring. All they care about is winning, right? They don't want to lose. And I think you saw that in our second to last game of the year against Malloy. He was struggling. He did not play well. And crunch time, we took him out. We made the decision to take him out, played a different kind of lineup. And in the past, he would have pouted or sulked. He was the ultimate team guy on the bench. He was up cheering, and it was all about winning. And that's really what you need. When your best player is about winning, everybody else follows along.
Just going back to Arif for a minute, how unique is it for a Division II program, for any college program really, to have a center, 6'7" center, with his skill set? He steps out on the perimeter. He's a very good three-point shooter. He's a very good passer. What does his skill set bring to you guys offensively?
Well, what it does, it really spaces the floor. I've said this all along. I believe he is the best shooter in the league, bar none. I think he is the best jump shooter, three-point shooter in the league. His percentage, actually, Jesse Lalka leads the league in three-point shooting. But Arif, I think his form and his shot is the best. He has the best shot in the league. I get on him sometimes when he doesn't shoot it enough. I think he needs to shoot more of the jump shots. But that also sets up his other game, the ability to drive, the ability to pass. He spaces the floor. Teams have to come out and chase him, and it gives us some driving angles that really makes us tough to guard. We are the ultimate, inside-out team, and we're a backwards team. And sometimes we post up guards, we have centers shoot threes, but that's okay. I mean, if you look at, I think two of our best assist guys are Reef and Ryan Granditz, who were our starting 4 and 5 at the beginning of the year. Ryan now comes off the bench at both the power forward and the center. So now all of a sudden you have two of your bigger guys are your leading assist guys. It's a fun team to coach. It is. It really is. And you become difficult to guard because it's not your typical team that everybody sees.
I want to ask you about Ryan, along with a couple other guys. I think we mentioned the injuries that your team has had to deal with this year with Supreme and Nick. When that happens, I think you really got to rely even more on your depth, and that has come through, especially over the last month and a half of the season. Ryan Granditz being one of those guys. He's a grad student, transferred, a player that you know well, having coached him at your last stop at Medaille. He transfers in here as a grad student. Then also Jaleel Wilkes, Jesse Lalka, who you mentioned, who leads the league in three-point field goal percentage, and Alex Borges. Those 4 guys off the bench, talk about the roles that they play for
I'll
you.
give you one more guy too, Xavier Long. X has been great for us at different times. I call him 5-minute energy. He runs in there for 5 minutes, gives us great energy, and then comes out. And that's what he's really good at. They've all embraced a role, and they've all had their moments. I go back to when we beat Bridgeport here in February, and Torrance had tweaked his ankle. Arif was in foul trouble. I looked out on the floor, and the lineup was Darius Garvin, J.J. Wilkes, Ryan Granditz, X, and Alex Borges. And I said, I never would have picked this lineup at a key moment, a key stretch of a game, early in the year. But those guys have all developed. They've embraced their roles, and that's why teams are good. Everybody talks coaching this and that. That stuff's overrated. It's all about the players. If the players embrace what they're asked to do and they understand their role and they really want to do it, it's easy for a team to be good, and it's easy for coaches to look smart when you have that kind of role play going on. They've all been great. They all had their different moments. Jesse has hit a number of big shots for us in the course of a game. Maybe it might be early second half when a team is making a run on us. He seems to answer with a 3. And the minute he checks in, the other bench immediately yells shooter every time he goes in. So he's marked the minute he gets on the floor. Alex Borges has played inside and given us good relief minutes and being able to bang, and he's very good, very underrated defender. And we need that going forward as we head to the tournament. And then Ryan is kind of another mismatch problem, similar to Arif, in that he's very good off the bounce. He can drive into the lane. He's made threes and free throws down the stretch here at a great rate. And just, is playing with a lot of confidence right now. I think it took him a little while to get adjusted, moving from Division III to Division II. They were a little bit bigger kids, bigger athletes he was going against, and he's made that adjustment. And I think he's found his niche, and he's been great for us off the bench.
We're filming this on Wednesday afternoon, so your opponent is still to be determined. The play-in game tonight between the 3rd-seeded District of Columbia Firebirds and the 6th-seeded Mercy Mavericks. You'll play the winner of that game on Saturday night. I wonder if you wouldn't mind just kind of breaking down, I guess we'll start with Mercy, a team that you swept during the regular season. They really attack the offensive glass. I believe they lead the country in offensive rebounds per game.
They do, and Dr. Jody King has done a great job this year with them, turned that program around. And they've beaten DC twice, so you don't know what you're going to get tonight when they play. We beat them twice. Both games, the first game we got up big and they made a comeback. The second game, it was a very close game, and J.J. Wilkes, who we mentioned before, was tremendous for us off the bench, really gave us great minutes and helped lead us to victory in that game down at Mercy. So they really rebound well. They're not overly big, but they play with a fierceness and a toughness that we're going to have to match if we're going to beat them by keeping them off the backboard.
First East Coast Conference tournament appearance for Mercy since 2001. So as you mentioned, Dr. King, the head coach of the Mavericks, doing a great job getting them back in the ECC tournament this year. And then District of Columbia, a team that you split with. They won here, you won there. They're a little bit different. We're not sure what the status of their top player, Kasim Chandler, is going to be. He's been out the last couple of games. And I think worth noting, with the tournament being played at UDC, although you guys are the number 2 seed, you would play them as the 3 seeded, essentially as a road game because of the predetermined site.
It is, and it'll be, I'm sure that would make it interesting. But you know what? They are a very talented team. I think Mike Riley's done a great job there, really good job this year with the team that was picked for second to last, I believe, in the league, and got them to third, and they were in to the last weekend to battle for second in the league. Very athletic, a lot of different guys who could score, really talented team. They offensive rebound well. They hurt us here when they beat us here with their length and their quickness and their transition offense. So we're going to have to try and match as best as that we can. Down at their place, they shot tremendously. I think they were 15 of 30 from 3. So obviously you have to guard the arc against them, which is tough because Chandler, if he's back playing, is a nightmare to try and keep in front. He's a very quick point guard.
Yeah, he leads the league in free throw attempts and made free throws. Should mention too, for UDC, their first ECC tournament appearance since 2012, I believe, which was their first year in the league. So a couple of teams that are new between yourselves, Mercy, UDC. Two of those 3 going to be going at it in the semifinals on Saturday night. Just looking a little bit more broadly at the tournament as a whole, you got the 4 seed LIU Post taking on the 5th seed Bridgeport as well tonight. And then the winner of that gets the top seed, the regular season champion St. Thomas Aquinas, who I think admittedly you'd have to look at them as the favorite to win the tournament. They've won 18 games in a row.
When you win 18 in a row, I think, yes, you're the favorite to win a tournament. It's kind of like the old guard is on the other side of the bracket with Bridgeport and their long history of success, LIU Post and their long history of success, and St. Thomas Aquinas with their recent history under Tobin Anderson of success. They've been really good, and they've been in the finals the last couple of years. They've won the regular season championship the last 2 years. So they've been rolling. They got a good group of guys, and we don't have to worry about all 3 of those teams. Only got to worry about one of them, and can't worry about any of them until we worry about whoever we play on Saturday first.
You just talk about the approach going into, and I want to ask you about tournament play. When you go into a conference tournament, and this will certainly be a new experience for your team, but you do have a group of guys, and it was different last year, but you have a bunch of players that won a postseason tournament last year, the USCA National Tournament as Damon was transitioning to Division II. You had the opportunity to go play in that tournament down in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, won 3 games. I wonder if you can draw any parallels between the 2 experiences, even though this will be a new experience this weekend. Yeah,
I just kind of wish we had Gerald Beverly, Jordan Green, Kyle Clifford, those guys who've been, kind of old guard who've been in that tournament a lot and that experience. That does help, though. That does help. Jesse and X and Alex Borges, those guys all got a chance to play in a tournament. I think going into this, you don't want to make it bigger than it is. You want to be loose. You want to have fun. This is the reward right now, is to earn that postseason bid. We're one of 6 teams, and on Saturday we'll be one of 4 teams still left out of the 11-team conference. So that means 7 teams have packed up their jerseys and put them away for the year. We have the opportunity to keep playing. We don't look at the bad things that can happen. Look at the fun stuff. This is what all our guys were raised on. March Madness. This is what they grew up watching. The Big East tournament, the ACC tournament, the Big Ten tournament, and then on to the NCAA tournament. And this is no different. This is our little slice of March Madness right here, the ECC tournament. So you want to be loose. You want to go have some fun, and you want to hopefully play your best. The tough thing is you lose and you go home. But you don't want to worry about that. You want to worry about, hey, let's just play, have some fun, play our best, and play together as a team. And I think for us specifically, one of the reasons, and we talked about this after we clinched on Saturday, the second spot. We said, we talked about, hey, really first and second is not a whole lot different in this league. Some leagues, you win first, you get to host the whole thing. In our league, if you finish first or second, you get a bye. So those are basically the same thing. The other thing I think, and the reason we've been able to be the second place team in this league, and we were a couple games out of first, but we were a couple games ahead of third too. And to be where we are is we've been a great team. We've been very unselfish. We've shared the ball. We've played. We've played for each other. we've worked with each other, and when you do those things, good things tend to happen. And we are definitely more than just Torrance Dyke or Reef or Ryan or any of the other guys. It's been a collection of guys who've come together and played as a team, and that's why we've been good, and that's why we are where we are, and we have this opportunity this coming weekend.
Last thing I want to ask you, Coach, before we bring some of your players in. You're a guy, you've been to the NCAA tournament as a coach at the Division I level and the Division III level. I wonder if you might impress upon us some of the experience that you had playing in those tournaments and what it'll mean for the Damon program if you are able to win 2 games this weekend and get yourself to the NCAA national tournament.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about where effect it'll have on this. But again, I want to live too much in the past. We want to live looking forward and what it can do for these guys. I think is good. But we have guys. Ryan Grandit's played it in the Division III tournament with Madai. Mike Birkin, my assistant, had the opportunity to play and coach in it. So there are other people around who've been here. And as you mentioned, we have guys who've won a USCAA championship, which is not the same, but was a national tournament and a chance to play. So we'll definitely build on those histories, but it's all about this team making their own history, which will be fun.
Okay, Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Mike.
We're going to take a break right now. We'll be back with a couple of men's basketball players to help continue breaking down the East Coast Conference tournament. All right, and we're back. Mike Moreno, Associate Athletic Director here on the Damon Men's Basketball East Coast Conference Tournament Preview Show. Joined right now by a pair of the men's basketball players, junior forward Arif Mametai, senior guard forward Torrance Dyke. First of all, congratulations to you guys. You earned the number 2 seed to the East Coast Conference Tournament coming up this weekend. First question for both of you. Both you guys ended up missing significant time last season. Both went out with season-ending injuries. Just let me know, what was your mindset coming into this season? As Torrance, you want to go first?
Our mindset was, first just to get healthy, of course. We knew we had a different team coming back, so our plan was just to, get together as a team, just be more team involved, just be better basketball players and just be great overall.
And Arif, I know you spent a lot of time getting yourself, as Torrance mentioned, getting healthy.
Yeah, last year I only played 2.5 games basically, so my main concept last year was to really get healthy. And when I get healthy, try to make a big impact, because I know once Gerald left, everybody thought we was not going to be so good. So my role was trying to come in, try to make a big impact, help Torrance, because I know Torrance is a great player and everything like that, and just be together, because I know we had a lot of freshmen this year and just building nice chemistry. And I feel like we did a great job doing that this year.
I wonder, Arif, just tell me, what does it mean to the team to qualify for the East Coast Conference Tournament with a chance to compete for an NCAA tournament bid?
It's great. Like Coach has a lot of time. He said at the beginning of the school year, try to do something for the first time. And I feel like we have a chance this year, definitely to do that, for sure. So we've been talking a lot this past week as a team, trying to accomplish that one goal that we had set in the beginning of the school year. So hopefully we can get that accomplished this weekend.
Torrance, you guys are started out a little bit rocky.
Yeah.
1-3 in the first 4 games.
Yeah.
You end up, you're 18-9 right now. I know one of Coach McDonald's big sayings is you want to be playing your best basketball as you head into February and now even into March.
Yeah.
You guys, do you feel like the team is playing their best basketball right now?
Yes, I definitely feel like we are. In the beginning, it was a little rocky, just because we had a lot of freshmen. It was a new team. We just had to put the pieces together. But as time went on, more practices, just more being together as a team, you could see how it increased as a better team. But I think we are playing well. The tournament coming up, we definitely going to be on our P's and Q's. So.
Torrance, your scoring has been well documented. You lead the East Coast Conference in scoring. I wonder if you might take me through just the other parts of your game that we talked with Coach McDonald about, rebounding, passing, and just how those have helped or how you've developed those parts of your game to become an even better overall player.
Well, last year I was probably more targeted as a scorer, and just being here over the summer and just overcoming my injury, Coach Mack made me realize that you gotta have more. You gotta fill up the stat sheet. And losing Gerald Beverly, we lost about 12 rebounds right there. So I knew I had to come in and rebound more, and I get to the basketball and I could create for others. So I had to learn how to pass more. So as the time went on, I just had to just put the pieces together just to make everything complete. So.
5 double-doubles this year for you, Torrance should mention. As far as your scoring goes, I think you've always been a guy that can more or less get to the basket at will. You're very hard to keep in front as a defender. But I think an underrated improvement in your game has been your three-point shooting. I wonder if you might tell me a little bit about that. I think you'd still probably consider yourself a streaky shooter.
Yeah.
But 40 3-point baskets you've got this year. That's almost double what you had last year.
Yeah, I was just in the gym this summer a lot. I had the injury, so I really couldn't do much but shoot. So, I was just in here every day shooting as much as I could because I really couldn't do much. But as time going, I was just working in the gym, learned a few pointers from this guy over here. So we just been practicing.
Yeah, Arif, three-point shooting has always been a big part of your game. I heard Coach McDonald describe you as having, in his opinion, the best pure jump shot in the league. What does it mean for you to be, a quote-unquote forward, but a guy that can step away from the basket?
I know it's a big matchup problems since I played a 5. I'm normally a point guard, but I played a 5 in this team. So I know Coach, once he put the system in the offense to stretch out the floor, and I know once bigs usually don't get out the paint, so me being able to shoot and create for others, I feel like it's a great success for us. And just me being confident in my shot, knowing that it's going to go in, that's how I feel like I became a good shooter and everything. Shooting with Coach, shooting with the players, here by myself over the summer, dealing with the injury. So I felt like all that combined together for me to be a great shooter this year.
Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me. You heard from the veterans. We're going to get the greenhorn Jay Sarkis in here in just a minute. We'll be right back with a little bit more of the East Coast Conference Tournament preview. All right, we're back on the Damon Men's Basketball East Coast Conference Tournament preview show. Mike Moreno, Associate Athletic Director, now joined by freshman guard Jay Sarkis. Jay, we've talked with Coach McDonald already. We've talked with 2 of the leaders on your team, 2 of the upperclassmen, Arif Mamaitai and Torrance Dyke. I'm interested to get your take as a freshman. Number one, coming in, what was your mindset coming into the season as a freshman guard? You're coming in to a program that's been relatively successful. And really, from the outside looking in, it looks like you'll have an opportunity to kind of learn the ropes from starting guard Supreme Hanna. And then 4 games into the year, he goes out with an injury. You're kind of thrust into a more prominent role. Just tell me about your mindset throughout the whole process.
Yeah, well, coming into Damon, I just kind of kept the role of I wanted to have the role of just taking care of the ball, getting plays, get organized on offense, get a fast break, get the open guy, get a good shot. But as this year went on, as Supreme got hurt, he kind of mentored me throughout the season, telling me what I need to do more, how to get more aggressive, attack the gaps, get more guys open, and look for my own shot. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really expect it to be this overwhelming coming to the season or as an important part of this team. But I thought I handled it pretty well and just trying to keep it going.
I think it's worth noting as well. I wonder if you might comment. We talked with Torrance and Arif. Both of them overcame season-ending injuries to come back and play well this year. You had a similar situation dealing with a season-ending injury during your senior year of high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I broke my left forearm in the 14th game last season, and I was real worried about all the colleges and Damon and everything, but Coach Mack kept me and still wanted to recruit me, and I was real happy and excited to come here and just want to be part of this team.
I think one of the things I want to ask you about, you're playing on the floor a lot with a good buddy of yours, Deion Hamilton, was one of your high school teammates. How has the chemistry that the two of you developed as Scholastic players now carried over into your college careers?
It feels real good. Me and Deion have been playing basketball together since I've been in 6th grade, so we built our chemistry real early, and now since like I had a year off, or he had a year off last year, and I was still in high school, and since I came to Damon, it's been outstanding. I love just connecting back with Deion, just him open corner three, that's his spot now, and I give him the ball and he hits it. And it's a good feeling being back in the court with him, and we got 4 more years together.
Coach McDonald talked a lot about the role that you and Deion and Darius Garvin have played as the seasons wore on as freshmen. 3 freshmen in the starting lineup, which I think is pretty unique. What's it like to have that kind of role as a freshman, and is there a little bit of a comfort blanket knowing that you've got 2 really, really talented upperclassmen in Arif and Torrance playing alongside you?
Well, yeah, Torrance and Arif obviously take pressure off me, myself, and Deion and Amir, because they're just 2 great players. They can score. They can do everything on the basketball court. But as us 3 freshmen on the court, we just try to be comfortable. Don't try to do too much. Don't get frustrated. Or like once we go to face adversity, we just try to be calm and handle ourselves. And we've been doing that lately, and we've been getting the job done.
A lot of individual shooting sessions with J-Mac, your boy at Greece Athena. I think your 3-point shooting has been certainly a welcome addition. I think it was probably well advertised, the attributes that you brought in here as a point guard, but you're shooting over 45% from 3-point range and pretty much have been all season long. You just talk about your 3-point shooting.
Yeah, well, I'm not much a shooter off the dribble, but I can occasionally like do a pull up in the middle of the lane, but like Torrance is such a unique ability of getting the basket, and Arif is such a good shooter. He spaces the guys out and has his defender draw to him. So when Torrance drives and my guy like leaves me, Torrance usually finds me in the corner or just for an open 3, and I just try to knock it down. That's my only goal too. So yeah, my 3-point shooting I would say has been pretty good lately. I believe I shoot 45% this year. So I'm just trying to hit my open shots. Every opportunity I have for open 3, I'll just take it and hope it goes in.
Last question, Jay. Just what does it mean to you, being your first year here at Damon, to be able to have the team in this position, qualified for the East Coast Conference Tournament for the first time in Damon's first year of eligibility to do so, and the chance to compete for an NCAA tournament berth?
It's an incredible feeling, and going to DC this weekend, we just have one mission or one goal in our minds, just get these 2 W's and then go to the NCAA tournament. And I think we believe we can win these 2 games, especially Saturday. Then Sunday, if we face Stack or some other opponent, we just gotta be locked in and just give 100%.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for joining me. Wish you good luck this weekend. That's going to do it for the Damon Men's Basketball East Coast Conference Tournament Preview Show. I'm Mike Morano. You can stay tuned to DamonWildcats.com throughout the weekend for all the most pertinent information surrounding the East Coast Conference Men's Basketball Tournament.